Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cardano Live. I have Andrew Westberg here with me today. He's going to tell us about JorManager and a little bit of a background on Cardano Live. I'm going to be doing these streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for some consistency at 12 Eastern Time, 1600 UTC time. However, there will be days where I will shift to a Tuesday or a Thursday so that people, to adjust for people's schedules. And we may start at noon, noon 15, noon 30, but we will go live whenever we're ready and all set up. So thanks everyone for joining us here today. And thank you as well, Andrew, for coming on Cardano Live to tell us about JorManager. And we would really like to get information out to developers and pool operators and people who need these tools to work on Cardano. So, Andrew, let's start with, tell us a little bit about your first steps coming into Cardano. Where did you get started and what made you decide to develop on Cardano?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me, first of all. I started on Cardano around 2017. You know, like many people, I watched Charles's whiteboard video, and that kind of got me hooked. I'm a developer myself, and I've been pushed and pushed and pushed to get software out by a date or before it's ready. And so I really appreciated kind of their rigorous approach to software development, putting the science first, making sure everything was well defined. And, you know, just having experienced and heard about all of those hacks on other systems, you know, the hard fork on Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, and just all of the forks on Bitcoin kind of pushed me to really dig in and look at Cardano a little more closely.
That's good. So as a developer, there were things with Cardano that were inviting to developers. And for developers who are watching this program, check out the links down below. I have a link to Andrew's GitHub, and we have links to his YouTube channel where he does some deep dives on there. Andrew, what's your saying over on your YouTube channel? That had me laughing this morning.
Yeah, so we say we do a deep dive on some Cardano topic, and we break it down, but we don't dumb it down. So it may be a little heady for some of you, but for, you know, really deep developers, you might get a lot of meat out of that channel over there.
Well, I love it, and great job on the Nerd Out videos so far. I also have a third link down below in the description to the IOHK Developer Community Slack, and that is where all the action is going on. So if you're a developer new to Cardano, check out that link to the IOHK Developer Community Slack down below in the description. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Andrew as the star of the show, and he's going to tell us about JorManager and then give us a screen share demo. So Andrew, what does JorManager do? Why would I use that app on Cardano?
Yeah, so JorManager is a tool for stake pool operators. If you're familiar with some of the other tools out there, there's CN tools, and there's also a number of scripts by Metadata. Martin has some scripts that help people manage stake pools. JorManager is a little bit different in that it's opinionated. So it's going to kind of guide you down a certain path, but I feel like its niche is to be the easiest to use. So, you know, if you're a little less technical, it's probably the one you want to go with, and it'll kind of guide you down the path of easily managing a stake pool.
All right, thanks for that overall description. And do you want me to bring it up so you can give people a demonstration?
And let's do the screen share, and I'll kind of walk people through JorManager.
All right, thanks. Here it comes.
Let me know when we're shared there.
We're good.
Okay. So what you're looking at here is the web browser. So JorManager runs kind of a server-side process, and it runs the user interface in a browser. And you should run this all on a secure machine, because there's not it does use an encrypted database, so everything is secure, but you do want to run it on a secure machine. So there's the UI has a number of tabs at the top. The first one is the dashboard, and this kind of gives you an overview of the health of your system. So you see here I'm running two different nodes. I'm running test, which is a relay on the Cardano testnet, and I'm also running a core node called Profit, and that's my block minting node. It'll give you kind of a countdown, what epoch we're in, how much time is left. It'll give you an idea of how many peers you have outgoing, how many peers you have incoming, making sure your blocks can get out to the network. And it also gives you a view of how many days are left on your KES key. So if you need to rotate those once this ticks down a ways. And then finally, we have transactions processed. This just gives you an idea of, are your nodes live and running and communicating effectively with the Cardano network. So once you get into JorManager, there's a couple things you want to do. You want to kind of start on the left and work your way right. So the host tab is where you put in the physical machines that you're going to be running on. So here I've got an example machine, Brainy, and I've got Papa. All of my internal servers are named after the Smurfs. The laptop I'm on right now is Smurfette, but we're not going to enter that one. And then I also have another time server that's Baby Smurf. That's a little Raspberry Pi. And so whenever you add a host, the only thing you'll have to do manually is make sure that Cardano CLI and Cardano Node and some other software is running on that. So that part you do manually. You follow the standard guides for doing that. And then you come in here and you enter the information. So how to communicate with it via SSH, if it's a remote server, if it's a local server, you enter the info and you put in the paths to your Cardano node and Cardano CLI. So that kind of configures the physical server itself. And then once you've done that, you kind of move to the right to where you create your nodes. And nodes are created with this nice little wizard. So let's go ahead and create a new node here. You can pick a color for it. The color here is by default the well-defined ugliest color in the world. I believe that's the standard. And that encourages you to pick a decent color because you won't want to keep that one. So let's pick a hot pink or something here. And then you can pick a host. You can put in a ticker name. We'll just call it dummy. We'll just make this one a relay node for now. Well, no, we'll do a core node just so you can see all the various setup. And then you can choose how many processor threads. You got to have at least 2 processor threads. Listen address is what the node is listening on. Node port. We'll just pick a port. We'll pick some EKG and Prometheus ports. And then you can choose what network it goes on. So this pulls down a list of all the configurations. So all you got to do is just pick your Genesis files from this list. Makes it really easy to set up. So we'll say this is going to run on testnet. And then the next step is creating your core node cold keys. So we're just going to choose to generate those VRF keys. If you're pulling in a node, if you want to manage a node in JorManager that you would, maybe you've created it in CN Tools or created it with other command line tools, you can pull that into JorManager just by dragging and dropping the files you need in here, and it lets you manage that inside JorManager then. So pool config. Looks like we're not going to be able to go any further because I don't have. Well, let's just pick an account here. We won't finish the creation of this. We'll just go through the wizard. So normally you would set up various owner accounts in the wallet first, but we'll just go through this right now. We'll say the same owner and reward account. You can pick different ones if you want. Say 50 million in pledge. And you can, drag your pool margin anywhere you want. Now we'll say maybe 3%. If I can hit it right. I'm struggling with the margin there. We'll go 3.5.
There you
go. Relays, you can add any number of relays you want. You can put in DNS or you can put in anything like that. port 3000 by default. So this is all very, very simple to do. And that's kind of why I said, you know, it's the easiest one to manage. And then metadata. And then you can enter all the various metadata that Pool Tool and Ada Pools needs. So you can put in, you know, ITN pool private and public files to give you that little badge on Pool Tool. If you're an ITN pool, you can enter all of your logos, all of your socials. All of that information can go in here.
Wow, you thought of everything.
Yeah, and so the other thing is a lot of pool operators make a mistake when uploading their metadata and the hash doesn't match. So this system actually uploads it to an S3 bucket and then puts CloudFront in front of it. And so you don't have to manage the upload or anything. It just does it.
Magic.
So it's nearly impossible to make a mistake. And then once you get to this screen, you have to enter your sudo password, and that's so that it can create all of those systemd scripts. So it'll automatically start the node and everything like that. I'm not going to go through it on this one because I don't actually want it to create this node, but you get the idea that, you know, that's kind of the process to get through it. So we'll just go ahead and blow out of that. The other screen that we have is kind of the wallet screen, and this is where you would set up your wallets, get everything prepared for creating the stake pool, and you can manage things. So creating an entry here, it has a number of different types of addresses. You can do a simple address if you just want to keep visibility of, you know, you can't do anything with that one. You can just, it's kind of a view only address. There's a payment type of address, and this is, you know, the type of address where you can send ADA to it, but you can't stake with it. It's the enterprise address. There's a stake address. This can be used for pledge. This can be used for staking. This can be used for anything. And then there's another special one called pledge only. This is where if you've exported your keys out of Daedalus, or you've exported your keys off of a hardware wallet, you can use this pledge only address. You can't spend the ADA from JorManager with this one, but you can use it for staking or running a stake pool pledge. So those are the different types of wallet items, and you see I've got a number of them here. So my test funds, that's kind of just a payment only one, and I'm testing some native assets on it.
I saw that on the video on your channel. You go into more detail.
Yeah, there's a lot more detail with that. But yeah, the wallet is kind of the most powerful feature, I would say, of JorManager. It's as powerful as a Daedalus wallet. You can send ADA. You know, if I wanted to send some ADA, you can send it with an amount. I don't have that much. Let's put in 4 ADA. So I could send that. It kind of tells you how much you need to keep on the address to keep the tokens there, how much remaining ADA will be there. You could also choose to send tokens if you wanted to. And you could put in an amount. You could also put in a percent just to drag how many. And then it, you know, calculates the correct token fee. So the token fee for a blue cheese token, it's the same length as a space coins. So you might recognize that 1.481480, Rick. I'm
do.
sure you've typed that in a number of times. So this will automatically fill that in for you. You don't have to type it in, and you could just blast and send it.
Yeah, you must have done a lot of research to be able to do those calculations and have them come out correct on that bar. That's pretty fantastic. You've done a lot of digging, yes?
Yeah, a lot of digging myself. I also had a lot of support from the other developers in the community, especially Martin from Atata. He does a lot of digging for his scripts, and so I use them as kind of a reference to make sure I'm not screwing things up. The other thing is you can do multiple sends at once in one transaction. So I could send both ADA and tokens to a given address within a transaction. You can also send additional metadata if you want to put something, some message or something cool in here.
Okay, and that's on the wallet feature. So you can use that wallet feature not independent of the pool features, but you can use it. Here's the use case I see with this, right? Is as pools start to collect tokens in the out years, months later this year, maybe next year, as pools start collecting tokens and Babel fees and all that kind of stuff goes into effect, they might need a tool like this to manage the tokens that are showing up on their nodes.
Yeah, no, it's also important because the more tokens that are on, like maybe your rewards address and stuff, the trickier claiming rewards gets. So this kind of handles all that behind the scenes for you and does all of the crazy tricky math. You don't have to worry about it. It's very easy to claim rewards on from this. Basically, how rewards work is you'll have a little money icon like this show up over here, and in the rewards, there's no rewards in testnet yet. We've got a couple more days before rewards come in, but then you'd see that same send screen, and you can send the rewards anywhere you want.
Yeah, and the tricky thing with the rewards, if your pledge address and rewards address, you have them ADA in the same address, and you go to withdraw them, and you type in an extra 0, boom.
Yes.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, so this kind of eliminates all of those errors. You can just pick the address you want it to go to. It can go to any of the other ones in here, or you can, choose address and copy paste one. But most of the time, I choose an address from the drop down, or an account from the drop down. So if I wanted it to go into the rewards account, I would just pick it, and then it's never going to make a mistake. And you just say, I want 100% of the rewards, and it would get there.
This is very responsive. What language did you write this in?
So the back end is all written in Kotlin, and the front end is all written in a JavaScript framework called Vue.js. It's the same front end framework that PoolTool uses.
It looks nice.
Yeah, great questions. But yeah, this is my test environment. I test all kinds of crazy stuff in here. Martin just sent me some of these crazy Russian tokens to test names with Russian. Here's some tokens that don't have a name. They're just the policy ID. So I test all kinds of stuff here.
Like putting emojis in the name of a token and see if
I haven't tried that yet. But yeah, you're already thinking of ways to break this.
Yeah, the people will do it. It'll happen on mainnet.
Yeah,
the only allowable characters are A through Z, and there'll be an emoji in there somewhere. Someone will do it.
Yeah, the final feature I kind of wanted to show was leader logs. So this is, what most stake pool operators really care about. When am I making blocks? How many blocks am I making? When are they coming up? Making sure everything is good to go. So what you do with leader logs is once you've set up your pool, you can come over here, click the leader logs button, and say, I want to get the leader logs for the current epoch, or you click the wizard hat for the future epoch. If you're close, if you're less than 1.5 days away, you can do that. It'll run your leader logs, and it'll drop them in here. And then you can just watch them come in throughout the epoch. So you can see all the blocks I've made in this epoch and the test net.
That's very nice. And you have a video on your channel. It's linked down below over at your Andrew Westberg YouTube channel. And you talked about the extra entropy. Is that thrown in with this version of JorManager as well? For the leader logs? Yes.
So this latest version, the latest released version is actually 3.0.0. The 3.0.1 I have currently with I have a small group of about 4 or 5 testers that are testing the new stuff, and they're currently working on testing the new exact math for token sending. So this one is not yet released, but it will be probably in a few days once the testers are done with it. But yeah, you can look at past epochs. You can separate it by pool if you have more than one pool in here. And then it'll just keep a running tally of all of your blocks completed, forged, orphaned, or missed. Missed blocks show up as the dumpster fire icon there.
I love your iconology. dumpster
Yep.
fire. Do you want me
No,
to bring that screen share down? Are you good?
Yeah, I think we're good. We can go back to just questions.
I'll see if
and
there's
stuff
any
now.
questions in the chat, or if anybody asked anything, any burning questions. I can't always hit all the questions, especially if they're when moon type questions. But if there's something specific to JorManager and it's a burning hot question, let me know over in the chat, and I'll check here briefly before we wrap up. So, Andrew, if people want to get JorManager, they can find it where? On your
They can
GitHub?
find it on Bitbucket. If you go to bitbucket.org /MUAMW10/JorManager. And maybe you can add that link to the video description. I'll send that to you offline.
Okay, I will put that down in the description down below so people can get to that Bitbucket location. Thank you for that.
Yep. And then we
All right.
have some people that have done a real good job of adding some good documentation for us on JorManager. It may not be perfect, but it's a pretty user-friendly system, so you should be able to figure it out.
All right, cool. That was a great demo. I appreciate it. And for viewers who are new to this show, we have over on Twitch, I've got a new link, Cardano Live on Twitch. I had Cardano Live podcast. It's now Cardano Live. So check out that link on Twitch. I'll also put that in the description down below so people who use Twitch can link over to that. And I don't see any burning questions in the chat. So, Andrew, before we wrap up, let's talk about developers coming to the Cardano ecosystem. I put the link down below for the IOHK developer Slack channel. Any other resources, anything that developers should be looking for as they migrate into Cardano?
Yeah, I would say just start small. Learn some of the command line stuff, figure out how the blockchain works, and then just work your way into. I know there's going to be a lot of developers coming in once we get the Plutus smart contracts. I haven't even gotten into those yet, but excited for that. Yeah, I would say just start small. Find where the developers are hanging out on the Telegram channels. There's a number of good channels where developers hang out. There's also kind of a guild network where a lot of developers hang out as well that are building tools and utilities. And, the goal of all of us is just to make the Cardano ecosystem that much more robust and stable. So, I put these tools out not for any personal reason other than to just see the Cardano ecosystem succeed. And the more people we have running good, stable pools, then everybody is going to win from having that really solid ecosystem.
Yep, the better it works, the better it runs. And there's also, I will get a link down below, there is a Cardano developer Telegram channel, which is a great starting point to meet other developers and get involved with building on Cardano. Lots of stuff to build, lots of stuff coming out this year to build upon. So thank you for that. I do have a question in the chat that we'll look at. Marcel helped me answer this question earlier this morning as well. There's a question from Andaleb Rana, and he said, do delegators get part of transaction fees?
The question is answered yes. Right now, we don't have a ton of transaction fees on the network. So, it's going to be small fractions of ADA every epoch, but yes, delegators do get those. And over
Okay.
time, as, there's a decay function, so pools and delegators get less and less over time. Like Bitcoin, it's kind of a stair step. They have halvenings. On Cardano, it's a nice smooth curve that comes down. But yeah, delegators do get a slice of those. And as the curve in Cardano comes down, hopefully we have the transaction fees and the utility of the network goes up to make up for that loss of rewards from the treasury.
Thank you, Andrew. I got an approximate from Marcel earlier today. It's approximate. Okay, don't hold us to this, but you're only looking at about 200 ADA in rewards per epoch generated by the transaction fees. The majority of it is coming from staking at this point. Apologize for the dogs. I have a guard guarding the guard dogs, but it's not working. Guard! There's a guard guarding the guard dogs to keep them from barking like that, but I guess they're on a break right now. They must be at lunch, which we're about to go to lunch, right?
Well, you are. I've still got a few hours out here on the West Coast.
You still got a few hours yet? All right. And Librana says thank you. And thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. We're going to wrap up Cardano Live for today. Check out our episodes coming out later this week. I will get the links out the day of when I make sure the guests are ready to go and they're happy. I will get the links posted on the Cardano Live Twitter, and I also owe a couple links down below that I will get from Andrew and put those in the description so you can follow up later to get to the Cardano Developer Telegram, meet up with other developers. And I do have other developers coming on later this week. I will have some NFT experts joining, both coding, the developer side of NFTs. I'll have an NFT assessor, someone who's a collectible expert, coming on Cardano Live. So that's going to be kind of fun to see, what are the rarity qualities and how do people view the rarity of NFTs that are running on Cardano and for collectibles in general. So that's going to be kind of cool. Well, thank you, Andrew. Andrew, you got anything else for the viewers before we head out?
I do not. Thank you for having me.
You bet. So check out Andrew's channel down below. You won't be disappointed. His Nerd Out videos, he tells you how the entropy works. The entropy that's on chain, the new really cool, what's it called? The high density entropy, the
extra Prouse entropy.
Extra Prouse entropy that is now running on the Cardano blockchain. And so thank you very much, Andrew. And if you ever have some time to come back and you want to cover any other subjects, you know how to reach me on Telegram. Cool?
Yep. Very good. Thanks again.
Awesome. You bet. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.